Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setups for today. So, politicians have decided that they're done manipulating the market, and everything's all fine and well. And it's very strange that they come to that decision just before non-farm payrolls, which is today. So every signal was, and every bit of noise they put out in the market was that they were going to extend this uh, into the weekend and obviously make a decision last minute. They didn't. They made a decision yesterday and fairly early in the day as well. Now, somebody always knows something, and I can pretty much guarantee you that if you look at what's going on, non-farm payrolls is more than likely going to be a fairly decent print. Okay, so with that in mind, what's going to happen is you're going to see a sort of a rally. Now, I will sit back and wait because I don't trust anything, but that's kind of what my gut is saying. That's kind of what's when you just look at the logic of the noise that they're putting out in the market, and why all of a sudden come to a decision yesterday when all week you've been saying you're going to fight it tooth and nail. So the Senate have been saying they're going to fight it tooth and nail. They don't agree with what the plan is, and they're going to disrupt it, and etc. etc. Then all of a sudden, early morning, like, okay, don't worry, we'll let it through. Why? I can tell you why, because half of them, well, not more, half of them, all of them have got positions on something which is going to be driven to the upside. So anyway, enough of my political ramble. Just have a look at the weekly. We have a higher low here on the weekly, and this is really starting to look like a flag here. There's a very, very, very decent setup at the moment, and that's the move up. This here's the flag. Lots of buyers coming in here on the moving averages, which takes us to this area here. Okay, look left. Lots of structure at this area, and that is at 35,500. So that's the weekly view. When you look at it from an 8-hour perspective, you can see potentially a higher low here. So we've been moving down, and now it's like a rounding bottom that is forming. So cup and handle, if you want to call it that. Some people see a head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders here. Others will just see a double bottom. And for me, I just see a flag and a potential for a breakout of this flag, which is brewing. So let's just drop down through the time frames. Look at the 3-hour here. Big 3-hour pin bar off the noise that came through. So we've been going nowhere all week, and then all of a sudden drop down into this zone here, and then fire step in. Massive pin bar with follow through. Trend is still down. There's no two ways about that on the 3 hours, so we're below the moving averages. But the minute you start dropping down to the lower time frames now, from the hour perspective, have a look now. We are above the moving average. We've been below it for 3 days. Now we're back above and in this zone. We need to clear the zone before I start getting too excited. The problem with the Dow is there's too many banks in here. So that's what's impacting this at the moment. So I'm still sit on hands with the Dow. I'd rather trade the DAX or the S&P. There's a very, very good setup on the S&P and an even better one on the DAX as well for some longs. So for me, this is something that I would rather stay away from until we have a clear break above 33,264 and we've got the structure formed. It's going to happen. The Dow sometimes lags behind the S&P, but eventually it catches up. So the question is just when. Right, so if you just look at the 15 minutes, just make sure we're not missing anything here. I mean, moving down strongly, nice grouping, but not really on the level. There's our level there, and look, the first red bar was this one here, but this next red bar closed below it, and then we had the breakaway, gap up, breakaway. So that's really something I want to be paying attention to. If you really do want to be paying attention to this, and here is some structure here at 3,300. So 3,300 would be an opportunity to look for some longs. Bear in mind you've got non-farm payrolls coming, so I would wait for that before doing that. And to be quite honest, I'd rather focus on the S&P 500. There's a much better setup there to the upside. So that's kind of my view. I'm sitting on the sides on this. I'll just shift my focus into the other two. It's going to be much better and much more lucrative for us doing that than worrying about this one just yet. But it is brewing. It is looking for a move to the upside, but you just got a lot of overhead resistance here, which I don't really trust at the moment. Okay, so that's my view for today. I hope it helps you somewhat. And if you don't trade the S&P 500, today is a great time to start looking at it. And just watch the video there, you'll see the setups. Anyway, we'll catch up with you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers for now.